My grandmother passed away 38 years ago, but my favorite project was the restoration of her desk lamp with rewiring and paint. Her cuckoo clock had lived in the shed for years and was no longer working. Mice had eaten the bellows. I disassembled it, oiled up the works, restained the clock, repainted the clock face, put on new chains and new hands, and a new sequin for the eye of the cuckoo. I was contracted to repair the lighting control system for our neighborhood. I reconfigured the components, rewired it, and gave it a new coat of paint. I repaired our old Ken Moore wash machine many times over the 23 years, but I know when to say when. I bought this cool old 1956 Vornado fan from a friend. It was filthy inside and out, and the wiring was dangerous. After 2 days of cleaning, rewiring, and custom paint, it's better than new. This 1923 Kodak autographic camera had a dry-rotted bellows and a mangled shutter. I have no idea where I acquired this 95-year-old prize, but there was a roll of exposed film in it, and I actually got one good picture out of it. I found a $10 donor camera on eBay, which provided me with the exact 2 parts I needed. I disassembled 2 of these shutter assemblies and swapped out the good parts for bad. Used muffin tins to keep everything in order. .116 roll film is no longer available, so I modified the camera to accept a smaller .126 film. Still takes pretty good pictures after 95 years. My 32-year-old lawn tractor had seen better days and had more rust than paint. I stripped it down entirely, rebuilt the engine with a shiny new piston, welded in new metal patches to replace rusted material, and provided new custom paint. The kitty still likes it and will probably outlive me. In our unfinished attic room, I installed new electrical, lighting, drywall, and flooring. Custom mirrors were installed by Steve Gallagher at Indiana Bevel. At Tech Edge Works, we converted this gasoline off-road vehicle into this prototype gasoline-electric hybrid surveillance vehicle for the United States Air Force. I provided design and integration of the electrical systems, mechanical modifications, paint, and accessory installation. Our vehicle could arrive silently in electric operation, be stowed in a V-22 Osprey, and switch to gas to drive like hell when shit hit the fan. Rust never sleeps, and neither does wood rot. This is work I did in the entryway to our home. Much of the work was 20 feet high and required careful use of a ladder. I'm not afraid of heights, just that sudden stop at the ground. Poor installation of our original rear steps allowed moisture to accumulate and rot crept into the house. I removed the porch, repaired the rot, and reinstalled new steps of my own design. I installed this new paver sidewalk while I was at it and built an enclosure for our trash bins. This butterfly approved. I've always been a hot rodder and I enjoy working on old cars. Sometimes you gotta take away a lot of the parts. And tractors too. Sometimes you gotta bring in the big boys. Equipment rental is always fun. This feed track for a glass beveling machine at Indiana Bevel provided me with a lot of work. You're looking at 500 pounds of machinery, 260 bearings that needed to be replaced. Dirty work. This is my daughter Katie working on one of Steve Gallagher's artistic projects at Indiana Bevel. I designed and built these speakers for my basement home theater installation. A client's daughter put some road rash on the side of their garage door entry. In the springtime, I wander the woods almost daily in search of those tasty morel mushrooms. After 2 months, I was rewarded with these two. They were yummy. My television was acting up, and I found the solution on YouTube. $10 in parts, a couple hours, a little bit of soldering, and it was all as good as new. That's not my cat, but that is my trailer. It used to be a 1974 pop-up camper that rotted out. I learned to weld on this job. New frame, new wood. Serves me well. This is a sidewalk edger I repainted and rebuilt for Fisher's Do-It Center. I removed this gunk from a shower drain hidden in the ceiling, hung these bicycles from my ceiling, and provided these electronics for these color-changing LED lights. Here's some under-cabinet lighting I installed in our kitchen. And the rest of these are just pictures I like. Here's a bunch of big boys at Bob's Big Boys in Anderson, Indiana. A pileated woodpecker on my tree. A very cool airplane flying over my house. Me waiting for the eclipse in Casper, Wyoming. Two of the best minutes I ever spent in my life. And a one and a two. Super Bowl I, Len Dawson smoking a cigarette and enjoying a Fresca. Fashion is my passion when I'm getting ready to fire up the snowblower. I lived with this splinter for 2 days in the second joint of my finger, lengthwise. In Destin, Florida, from right to left, Dan, Ann, Katie, and her boyfriend Matt. The cover of my second book. The first one was good, but this one's better. My baby. My baby all grown up. Dan, Ann, and Katie. My dad bought this big kite 45 years ago. I don't know if he ever got to fly it, but we sure do.